Hello. How are you guys doing today? I think they're getting everybody queued up here. Also, hello to you guys on YouTube. This is a first for me. We got the double stream going, so I hopefully the angles are good in both places. Yeah, it's nice to see you guys. I figured while people got into the room with us here that I could maybe start by making you a cocktail that has quickly become one of my favorite cocktails. Now I know I've been known to make drinks that can be a little stiff and aren't always everybody's favorites, but I think this one might make it up there onto your list of favorites. It's called the Rosita. I found it in the McMahon's bartending guide. Of course, I've got the wrong pour. All right, this is good. So basically what it is 1.5 ounces of tequila. I'm going to double that because Kelly's going to have a cocktail with me today. So we're using Reposado, Casamigos, very tasty stuff. I also like the Espolón Reposado. That goes there. Spilled a little shaky, a little nervous, I'm not going to lie. Okay, then you're going to have your dry vermouth. You're going to do 1/2 ounce of that. In this case, I'm going to do a full ounce because I've got 2 of us drinking. Let's see here. Then we're going to do 1/2 ounce of Campari. Good stuff. It can be a little bitter for some people, but I tend to like it. But in this case, it's just a nice little addition to this cocktail. It's not the full flavor of it. And then you've got a little sweet vermouth here. Did I see Cecilia running around out there? See, come say hi. Say hi to everybody. Say hello. Daddy never makes cocktails at home, does he? Never. All right. Then you got all that in there. You're going to stir it up in a glass. All right, so let me just say hi to some of you while we're stirring this up. You're like Bob Ross meets Mr. Rogers. God, I'm trying. I'm glad you really boiled down the entire mission of this little operation here. Come play Meow Wolf in Santa Fe. I've heard amazing things about Meow Wolf in Santa Fe. Hey, Ontario, Canada. How are you guys? Missing you. Mr. John Morris is on the screen. That's my buddy John, Windmill Factory. So those of you who've seen me on the Pen and Piano tour, pretty much any tour you've seen me on recently, you'll recognize John Morris because he, let's just say he and I might have cooked up the rubber duck gag one night at the Ace Hotel. I'm going to have to leave that story at that while I have this little child next to me here. I'm getting a dirty look from Kelly. All right. So then we're going to we got no glasses. Kelly, will you grab the 2 glasses out of the freezer? Thank you, my dear. Nothing says cocktail time like 2 chilled coupe glasses, which didn't show up because I was slacking. Anyway, let me say hi to some YouTube Live folks over here. My girl made me your house in the trees drink last night. That's awesome. You know, the guys over at The Vine who sort of helped me do the Rocktail Hour initially, some of my favorite people. I went to high school with one of I grew up more or less with one of the dudes in high school. He was best friends with one of my buddies, Clutch, from Something Corporate. And those guys, thank you, Cecilia. Those guys have kept their doors open doing takeout food in San Clemente and have done an amazing job. And if you get a chance and you live south, I highly recommend checking out The Vine. All right, so we're going to strain these. All right, we're looking pretty good. And then all you're going to want to do after that, just take yourself an orange here. Oh, gosh. I'm a mess. Cecilia's laughing at me off screen. You take these oranges here. We'll get 2 peels going. Kelly, my hands have been on those keys all day long. You want that one? You sure? Come on. All right, so here's for me, the nice clean one. Here's Kelly's, the dirty piano hands one, because we're practicing our hygiene and hand washing. There you go, love. All right, I won't give it to you. There you go. Cheers. Love you. All right. So, blurry because two concurrent streams. What? I'm not sure why that would be. Everything looks clear on my side. You guys doing okay over there? Because I'm spreading it out. Hopefully we shouldn't have a problem. Just double check my Wi-Fi. All right. Anyway, so blurry vision this week. Really? What's going on? Hopefully you guys are okay. All right. Well, so I'm going to start playing some music. Here's for you, John Morris, a little cocktail. This is the Rosita. It's basically a tequila martini. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. Super refreshing. So we're calling this week B-side Bonanza. Now, I'm going to be the first to admit you guys didn't request a lot of B-sides, but what you did do, which I think made perfect sense, was request songs that you don't hear a lot in the normal set. So I thought the idea was novel and exciting because here we are and I get a chance to just like learn a bunch of music and whatnot. So this first song I will tell you is one of, if not my favorite, Something Corporate tunes. It's a song very much about that sort of nervousness that I felt in the band in the initial sense when we were making like our first studio record. We're sitting in this incredible recording studio where Sinatra and the Beach Boys had recorded and Weezer was in right before we were. And I was just feeling both terrified that my dream wouldn't come true and also excited that maybe it would. But I think there's a moment, and I'm sure some of you can speak to this too, like when you get to do something you really love, sometimes you can feel like a little bit like an imposter or something. And that's a common feeling. It's one I'm familiar with, but this song was really sort of about belief and pushing through that feeling. It's called The Astronaut. I've been sleeping with the ghosts. I've been watching stars come out of the sky. And I've been hoping I'm close to the spaceman movie I call my life. And I've been climbing these ladders through time. I got tunnel vision, but I'm doing fine. I've been watching stars coming off my wall. Maybe if I'm lucky, I can catch one before you fall. And you are not alone. Calling out to the astronaut, I need someone like you got. I need to be high. Crawling out of a world she born. Calling out to the astronaut, I need to be high. I've been holding this microphone. I've been channeling, but I think we're alone. And I've got platinum vision, waiting for the touch. I got you to propel me, but I still need so much not to be alone. Going out to the astronaut, I need someone like you got. I need to be high. Crawling out of the world she brought. Calling out to the astronaut, I down to the astronaut. I need some of what you got. I need to be high. Crying out of the world she bought. Crying out to the astronaut. Well, I need to be high. Crying out to the astronaut. I need some of what you got. I need to be high. And I disappear in the world she bought. Calling out to the astronaut. Well, I need to be high. I got you to propel me, but I still need so much. Thanks, guys. I love this. Now we've got like people toggling between the two streams. That's hysterical. So yeah, I mean that song obviously it sort of opened a lot of doors. I mean, think about obviously the Spaceman theme was such a real thing for me, and is such a real thing to this day. I mean, I played a little snippet of the new single or the new song "Get on My Wave," which has like a little line baked into that accordingly. Spaceman theme. The next thing I'm going to do is really sort of informed by my love of the Beach Boys, but what was really at that point like a fledgling love of the Beach Boys. Somewhere around my 21st birthday, I want to say, I swear to God, it was like there was just this thing nagging at me that said like, you need to listen to Pet Sounds. And I don't know why or where that instinct came from, but I got a copy of the record and put it on. And I remember listening to it all the way through the first time and being like, I'm not sure. And like kind of walking out of the room and one of the songs just grabbing me and saying, oh God, I have to listen to it all over again. And I listened to Pet Sounds, I swear to God, probably 5 times a day for 2 years after that. And this song kind of got wrapped up in that influence and that period of time in my life when I was working on a record called Everything in Transit. And yeah, so I think there's a little bit of my love for the Beach Boys and Brian Wilson's melodic style kind of baked into this jam. And I also mentioned them in there. So it's called Miss Delaney. Finally, letting go of all my down thoughts. In no time there'll be one less sad robot. Looking for a chance to be something more than just metal. Now I'm going part-time with a film projectionist. She's the vinyl queen from the surfer dream. She likes the Beach Boys more than radio metal. And she's so good, but she's no good for me. Miss Delaney, what's the matter? Waiting by the window, waiting by the door. Miss Delaney, where's your boyfriend? Isn't up in them, and so I treat him like he's dead, like he's. See, it's not that every day it's coming up with the green grass, but the tides pass around. Think of you whenever I'm at dinner. Finally, I found someone to tow this lonely sea. haunts on my nights, searching for earthquakes. Biblical, how fucked my sleep can be, but she won't sleep with me. Mr. Lady, what's the matter? Wait by the window, wait by the door. Mr. Lady, where's your boyfriend? Isn't up in heaven, so I treat him like he's dead, like he's dead, like he's dead. From here you can find everything every night, never lie to Mr. Lady, Mr. Lady, what you said for? Waited by the window when I was kicking down the door. Mr. Lady, where's your boyfriend? Where's your boyfriend? He isn't up in heaven, so I treat him like he's dead. Mr. Lady. Well, cheers! Welcome to those of you who are just getting here. Hello to you, my friends on YouTube. That was a lot of fun to sort of work on that jam. I did a lot of that stuff out of a studio called 4th Street Recording out in Santa Monica with an amazing producer named Jim Wirt, who for me was, he hold on one second. Cecilia's coming in here with the live stream. I don't think she realizes that it's going to be like slightly delayed. Hold on. Give me a second. Okay, buddy, it won't make sense to have that in here because it will. Is it okay? Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. The 5-second delay on that is real apparently. So I know now when I ask you guys questions and you don't actually answer them in time, that's why. Anyway, well, I digress. But if Jim Wirt is out there and listening, I love you, Jimmy. We made a lot of cool records together. This being one of them. This tune, "Ruthless," I think a lot of people think of as like a love song or a breakup song. A relationship, a romantic relationship breaking up, and really. At the time, it was about like a business relationship that had gone south really quickly and got kind of contentious and pretty brutal, to be perfectly honest. And I remember feeling very taken advantage of and kind of angry and vindictive almost, or vengeful almost. And that's not a normal state of affairs for me. I mean, obviously, if you see Jordan, that was pretty vindictive. And this was sort of, I'd say, probably like the last of those kinds of tunes for me. But I do love it, and it was on this list of y'all's, so I thought I'd break it out here. It's called "Ruthless." This is the only picture waiting on my floor, littering my shore. This is the last true burning letter given to a girl, written by a boy, living in a world created to destroy. But if I build you a city, would you let me? Would you take let me. And there you go when I'm not done. You waving goodbye, but at least you're having fun. The rising tide will not let you forget me. Forget me, yeah. This is a ghost that before me raises on her tongue in a body full of oxygen. Won't be the last time she'll ignore me. The thinning of my skin without the strength to go. And setting in to cover you in the snow. But if I built you a city, would you let me? Would you tear it down? But there you go for the last time. I finally know now what I should have known, that I could still be ruthless if you let me. And there you go when I'm not done. You're waving goodbye, well at least you're having fun. The rising tide will not let you forget me. Forget me. Forget me. Forget me. Forget me. Yeah. Now I'm raised outwards and climbed them, rivers and walked them, oceans to drown in. You won't make a sound in, but there you go for the last time. I finally know now what I should have known, and I could still be ruthless if you let me. And there you go when I'm not done. You're waving goodbye, well at least you're having fun. The rising tide will not let you forget me. Forget me, yeah. Thank you. Person drinking. Okay, so are we good on the blurry thing? I just want to make sure that is yeah, this is what he calls B-sides. I didn't call them B-sides. You guys are the ones who voted on them. Okay, just confirm for me that we're not in a blurry situation here, and then I'll kind of keep going. How are my friends up here doing? Everybody all right? Looks like we're good. Okay, awesome. Well, how appropriate that I got taunted about not playing B-sides, because I am going to do a proper B-side now. As far as I know, this will be the first time that this song has ever been played. And honestly, I don't know that it's for any really good reason other than like I was super terrified about the, there's like a little section. Oh God. There's it, okay. I'm glad I'm practicing this now before we start. We'll see if I get it when we start. Yeah, so I actually recorded that at half speed, and you know, kind of like the Beatles would do these like harpsichord things where they would record them at half speed and speed them up, and it would make this harpsichord sound. That's sort of how we did this on this particular song. So I'm liable to fuck it up pretty badly, but it was really fun to learn this and to debut it here. Gosh, you know, now probably about 12 years after it was recorded. And I apologize for touching my face. I'll wash my hands when I get done. This one's called At Full Speed. Should the canyons burn all night long like the 4th of July? We won't need an alibi. There's gas in the car, hours till sunrise. And it's no guarantee Leaving town's gonna set us both free. And staying here, it's just not what we need. Staying here, it's just not what we need. Because America shines, yes it does. In between the white lines where I found love. All alone on the road, going nowhere, nowhere, going nowhere, going nowhere, full speed. And I have traveled far, and I've seen things that I'd rather not say. But when you travel, it's better that way. The darker the secret, the harder you keep it. But it's no victory, always running away like I do. Always know that I'll come back to you. Always know I'll come back to you. Because America shines, yes it does. In between the white lines where I found love. Alone on the road, going nowhere, going nowhere, going nowhere, full speed. Because America shines, yes it does. In between the white lines where I found love. All alone on the road, going nowhere, going nowhere, going nowhere, at full speed. Alone on the road, going nowhere, going nowhere, going nowhere, full speed. And should the canyons burn, I am catching a ride off the coast. Woo! Man, shit gets me nervous to play a song that's like not new, but new to be played. That was exciting. That was fun for me. Thank you. I think called that goes over ground. That was attached to the Glass Passenger era. I think like there's always been an element of like trying to of running away in my music. I think because I moved a lot when I was young. There's always been a sort of sense for me that packing up and getting the hell out of town is a good solution. And certainly in the era that I was working on Passenger, like there were just so many moments where all I wanted to do was just like get in my car and fucking drive. And I did in the middle of that record, in a really bizarre moment where we just shut the production down and I just drove. And that song certainly was born out of that period of time. I feel like there's, not so much for me personally at this moment, but I know because we're all kind of like locked in at our houses and whatever, and feeling cooped up. I guess you can see why that song might have ended up on a set list. And it's only normal to feel like you got to break out. And I hope that you guys are finding moments to sort of get ourselves sane, and whether that means getting outside and finding a little space that's just yours, and doing a thing. We've been howling at 8:00 at night. Apparently that's become a thing. I don't know if you guys are howling at 8, but we're howling at 8. That's kind of become a deal. So if you happen to be in South Orange County and hear some loud howls in the burbs down here, it's probably me and some of my friends. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna keep this boogie, and this one is for my dear friend Michael Porman. Now, for those of you who have seen our shows recently, you'll know that we have one of the greatest drum techs in history. Tech many other things besides the drums, but we call him a drum tech. And every day of tour, he requests this song, and just about no day of tour do we play it. And I don't know if he's watching now, but I kind of hinted to him that he was going to get his request. I wrote this tune with a beautiful human being named Matt Thiessen, who's in a band called the Reliant K, I should say. I walked around the top floor of his house in Nashville the morning that I woke up to start a series of writing sessions with him, and the floorboards were creaking just so that I walked downstairs and we had our first lines of this song. Snow on the ground in Tennessee, north came south at the tops of the trees. I don't know. I talk about the floorboards in the chorus. Whatever. Fuck it. All right. This one's called Amy Eye. Snow on the ground in Tennessee, north came south at the tops of the trees. Another long winter trying to fight this free. I'm waiting with the cold's got a hold on me, hold on me. So hold on to me. Amy, I never felt this kind of cold before. Amy, I may never feel this way again. I've never felt this kind of cold. So give me a cloud with so much at stake. Decided to walk through this ice someday. I never works, it never breaks. I hear it cracking under my rain. Another long winter trying to fight this freeze. Wait, but the cold's got a hold on me. Hold on me. So hold on to me. Amy, I never felt this kind of cold before. Amy, you never feel this way again. Amy, give me your bare feet on my bedroom floor. Amy, never felt this kind of cold. Never felt this kind of cold. Never felt this kind of cold. Never felt this same. Never felt this same. Amy, I never felt this kind of cold before. Amy, you never feel this way again. Amy, give me your on my bedroom floor, but you're not here anymore. And maybe I never felt this kind of cool. All right, just a sip on this Rosita. This was the first song I wrote for my wife. I was probably 19 at the time, and she, she was not the easiest of that came out wrong all the way from the beginning. It was difficult to get her to want to date me. She grew up very close with my sister, and I think my sister probably was pretty used to me, thinking that all of her friends were cute and trying to date them. So I think between the two of them, it was pretty much understood that that was a horrible idea. But I had really fallen like head over heels for her, and was trying desperately to just like get her to like pay attention. And we had these like this amazing chemistry, and it seemed like it was possible. It seemed possible in my mind because I knew there was something there. But I think she wasn't so into it at first, and it really bummed me the fuck out. I'm gonna be honest. So in the time between where we sort of had this like little spark and this mini fling, and me desperately trying to get her to date me, and her saying that she wouldn't, I sat down and I wrote this song while we were working on the very first Something Corporate EP, and we'd had like 5 songs, and there were just sort of like all these amazing nights where my sister and her friends and my friends, where we were just all like this big group of like young people finding our way in the world. But me and my band were signed, and it was like just this exciting time, and there were all these memories of Kelly and I together, sort of like that I packed into this one song, in hopes that she would hear it at some point and decide that she was terribly wrong and that she had to start hanging out with me more often. And I played, the first person that ever heard it was her sister Allison. I played it over the phone because that's the kind of dumb shit you do when you're 18 or 19 and you're hoping that somebody will tell her that there's a song written about her. So yeah, it's called Walking By. Granddad left home for the circuit. He was young just like me, with hope to explore. He married a girl in Virginia. She could swing the trapeze, sleep on the floor. Your mother was born in December. One sunny day, that winter gave up. A warm sunrise, it flickered like fireflies. Stared at the world. So why do we leave these stories unfinished? A Cheshire cat doorstep, tears in your eyes. And why do you look when you've already found love? She was raised in a New England village, then she moved to LA with the fireflies still. You loved Sunset Street when it sparkled. You grew up and you sparkled, but why care. So why do you leave these stories unfinished? Cheshire Cat doorstep, tears in your eyes. Why do you look when you already found them? What did you find that leave you walking back? Walking back. These nights I get high just from breathing. Lie here with you. I'm sure that I'm real, like that firework over the freeway. I could stay here all day. It's not how you feel. So why do we leave these questions unanswered? The circus awaits, and you're already gone. Cheshire Cat doorstep, the fear in your smile has made it so easy for you to be walking by. And what did I do that you can't seem to want me? And why do we lie here and whisper goodbyes? Where can I go that your pictures won't haunt me? It's made it so easy for you to be walking by. Walking by. Walking by. Thank you. Look at this. How are my friends doing up here? The old YouTube. Everybody feeling great? So I got a few more. This will be just about the least B side of all of them. But it was requested, and I've done a bunch of these live streams, and I haven't played it in the live stream. And you know, look, I'll be honest, like, I'm here for you guys in this situation, in the same sense that you guys are here for me. I really I put a lot into doing these sets, and I get nervous for these sets, like I get nervous for shows. And I think it's just because there's something about it that makes me feel tethered. It makes me feel like there's a place to go in the middle of like all this madness where I still make music for a living, and I still play shows for a living, and here you all are, you know. And I know this will hopefully, you know, whether it's over in the next month or two, hopefully we'll be seeing a little bit of light and starting to talk about how we get out and see each other. But being in this space with all of you, even though it's like me looking back at me, like I feel you guys here, and I am so grateful. So this is not a B-side. It's a big song, and I'm gonna play it anyway because it was at the top of y'all's list. So whatever. Here we go. Yeah, I woke up in New York City from my sleep behind the wheel. Caught a train to Poughkeepsie, time stood still. She wrote me a letter from San Diego to qualify her love. These flights connect to Arizona, but I think I'll stay instead. So here I am. So here I am. Whoa. Well, I woke up in a car, chased away the fog so I could see the Mississippi underneath. I've never been so lost, never felt so much at home. Please write my folks and throw away my keys. I woke up in a car, woke up in a car. So I met a girl who kept tattoos for bones. She had love. If I were her, I'd paint my body till all my skin was gone. She wrote me a letter as we passed through Rockford. She said she won't forget. Maybe I do, maybe I don't, but I know I am in the end. So here I am. So here I am. Whoa. Well, I woke up in a car, chased away the fog so I could see the Mississippi underneath. I've never been so lost, never felt so much at home. Please write my folks and throw away my keys. I woke up in a car, woke up in a car. Maybe I could live forever, if not ever. I know that you'll be waiting there whenever I am all alone. So here I am. Oh, well, I woke up in a car, I traced away the fog so I could see the Mississippi underneath. Yeah, I've never been so long, I've never felt so much at home. Please write my folks and throw away my keys. Oh, I woke up in a car, I traced away the fog so I could see the Mississippi underneath. But I've never been so lost, I've never felt so much at home. Please write my folks and throw away my keys. I woke up in a car, woke up in a car, woke up in a car. Thank you. Okay, so for anybody who feels like they have not got their share of B-sides, I'm going to do something like, I don't know. I all I can imagine is that there are some of you who like banded together on Instagram to request a couple of things that are like way out there, and somehow this one managed to make it into the top 10. This is a Something Corporate song that was written when I was still very much in high school. As far as like, yeah, I was still in high school. I think I was probably like a senior in high school, and the guys in the band, because we had started playing like some like decent sized shows, there was this like skate clothing company that my cousin hooked us up with. Shout out to Casey Wheat. They were called Royale, and they like gave us a bunch of free clothes, and so in like the process of like getting the free clothes, like stuff would get shipped to my house, and one of the packages was like addressed to us from a woman that worked in the office there, and her name was Noelle. And I thought it was like this beautiful name, and I'd met her before. She was super cool. There's like a chance possibly like I had a crush on her. I don't really know. I'm embarrassed to say so if it's true, because like I still like know her and her husband loosely. But you know, hey, I was like 17, so whatever. So I wrote this song sort of based on the fact that I had this like beat up box like at the house full, like that had these clothes that we were gifted in it with a dress from this woman Noelle. And like that's how most of my songs get started. It's just some random set of words that jump out at me, and this was one of those. So I can't even tell you when the last time I would have actually played this song would have been, other than for recording it as a B-side for the 10-year anniversary record or something corporate. But it's called Letters to Noelle. I will hack through this, as it's been a long time. But hey, hats off to any of you guys who got this one in the top 10 there. Letters to Noelle, marked a cardboard boxes fell. I fell with them, crushed like without my head. Letters to Noelle, years of waiting, nothing fading. Emptied out my bed, called the rest to my head. Letters to Noelle, reading from my darkest cell, filling up my wishing well, waiting on their return. But the driveway's clear, you pray for silence. Step into my quiet violence. Do you see pictures in my room? Standing still, I'm moving faster, searching out my next disaster. You're gonna get what you deserve. Letters to Noelle, I see him in a box inside a case. She keeps locked up in a place I'll never be. Letters to Noelle, I emptied out my veins onto a page, sent to a screen you just can't get. She cannot see what's inside of me. But the driveway's clear, you pray for silence. Step into my quiet violence. Do you see pictures in my words? Standing still, I'm moving faster, searching out my next disaster. You're gonna get what you deserve. But the driveway's clear, you pray for silence. Step into my quiet violence. Do you see pictures in my words, in my words? Standing still, I'm moving faster, searching out my next disaster. You're gonna get what you deserve. Driveway's clear, you pray for silence. Step into my quiet violence. She said it's taking off your shirt. Yeah, I'm standing still, the world moves faster. I'm running back
get what I deserve.
Well, there you go, friends. Cool. Well, I thought, because we're, still learning in this digital realm, that I'd tell you a couple quick things and then maybe get into this. One, I'm going to come back and do this on Saturday again. This is actually super cool. I paired up with my friend Marissa Mullen. We're going to do like a proper happy hour on Saturday. She is somebody I've known since she was like coming to my shows, and then she went on to work in the entertainment business, and then kind of blew up as like this artisanal cheese plate maker. I know that's like a crazy thing to say, but she has an amazing Instagram. It's called That Cheese Plate. And so we thought it'd be cool if we would sort of pair our sort of happy hour vibes for one, happy hour together. So let me see, I got the time here somewhere. On Saturday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, we're going to get together. Marissa is going to make you a cheese plate. I'm going to make you a martini. I got this indigo gin. So, I mean, it's not exactly dark blue, but we're going to make you a martini that's going to be called like the dark bluish, I think. And then I'll play you a couple songs. Maybe maybe we'll do dark blue, since I'm seeing some requests for that in here. Yeah, I mean, that's the deal. It's going to be like a virtual happy hour. And you guys can go to her site, figure out the idea is you guys go pick up some of these cheeses, pick up the ingredients for the cocktail, and we'll all sit in our houses, because that's all we do anyway now. And we'll make cocktails and we'll make cheese plates together. I'm going to try and make the cheese plate. Honestly, I'm going to do it. And then what else? I mean, I'm trying to think if there was anything else. We are still talking about trying to put something awesome together. I don't know why it's telling me that I have a time remaining on this live stream, because I'm certainly going to come back on soon and do more. I don't know what's happening. If it cancels out, I'll jump back on pretty quickly. Then next thing I wanted to do is, did they just give you an hour? Is that the deal? Is that what's happening? I might have to come back on here really quickly, because I wanted to do something cool where I invited one of you to kind of come on to my live stream and share a story with the rest of us. And the idea behind that was like, I know we're all locked in. I know that we're all having a tough time. But I do think, at least for me, I found like a lot of beautiful moments in the midst of this craziness. Honestly, just like the time with my family, like these walks that we've been taking, and like really just spending so much time with my piano. I've started writing a lot of prose and digging into the idea of maybe like working on a book. And I wanted to maybe invite one of you guys on to the screen here with me to talk about maybe what you're excited about, or what maybe something beautiful that you found in the midst of this like fucking quarantine nightmare might have been for you. So what I'm going to do really quickly is I'm going to end this and go live again, because it seems like it's going to shut me down. Hold on. We got a countdown here. 15, 14, 13, 12. Let's see. Hold on. If at 10 it shuts me down, hello, my YouTube friends. If at 10 it shuts me down, then then I'm going to boot right back up. Okay, hold on. Reconnecting. Share the story. Go live. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay. It says we're live. Okay. Hopefully this works out. Okay. We'll see how long it takes to get everybody back in this spot. But anyway, so if you have like something awesome that you want to share, or something moving, something that's touched you, that you think will move this amazing audience of people, feel free to raise your hand, and I will go live with you on this stream. Okay, so let me see these. Okay, I'm going to view these requests here. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Who have we got here? Waiting for Jasmine. Let's see. It says we're connecting.
Hi.
Hey, Jasmine. I can't see you yet, but I hear you.
Can you see me?
Not yet, but maybe somebody else can. Hold on. Let's see. It says it's connecting us. Hold on. Connecting.
I can see you.
You can see me. Can anybody else see Jasmine?
I can see my head kind of stuck in a hair flip because I was like, holy shit, did you just accept that?
Well, okay. Well, so at a minimum, we can hear you at least. So Jasmine, why don't you share something that you found that's been like a bright light in the middle of all this this craziness?
So I actually work at a grocery store. I'm a supervisor at the front end.
Yeah.
So it's been crazy on the front end because everyone like is worried about like what's going on, what products we're missing, what can we.
You there? Oh no, Jasmine, come back. Oh shoot, did I lose you? Okay, Jasmine, come. Let me see if I can get you back in here. Okay, hold on. Here, Jasmine, will you request me again? We knew this was going to be an experiment, you guys. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get Jasmine back again. All right, where are you at, Jasmine? All right, well, I might have to reconnect with Jasmine in the middle of all this, but let's see if we can find somebody else in here that can share something with us. All right, here we go. All right, let's try this. Hello, you there? This feature is basically useless to me at this moment. I'm trying, guys, but it seems like it's not working out. So I might just, okay, all right, here we go. Let's try this one. All right, we're gonna let John Morris go live. Let's see if he's in here. Waiting for picture John Morris. Hey, buddy.
What's up, buddy?
Not much. I do want to just take a second because Jasmine got disconnected, but she was talking about being at the front line as a grocery worker and like,
amazing.
And what I have to say is like, every time I go into the grocery store, just to tell you guys, like, and you should think about this, I say thank you to every worker that I encounter there. It's the same thing we need to be doing for our first responders and our medical staff and the people that are out there who are basically forced in some ways, but also choosing to put themselves in potential harm's way to make life better for all of us. And so to Jasmine, I know I missed your story, but I do want to say thank you for what you're doing. And I hope that you stay healthy out there, and to all the grocery workers and all the people who are doing takeout orders for food and just like keeping us, like giving us those things that make us feel normal and make it possible to be at home and sort of convalesce as we might be doing. Like, thank you to you. But Mr. John Morris, talk to me. What's going on?
What's happening, Andrew? Thanks for doing this, man. It's really, really special for everybody. So thanks for taking the time to be with us. I saw the one thing, so much beautiful things have been happening through this process that we're all in. One that I saw today that really moved me was a story from New Orleans. That was a Mardi Gras crew that was organizing, that's really good at, organizing mass groups of people. They had organized an entire platform for restaurants to make food for the healthcare workers on the front lines, and for artists to be the delivery people to bring them there. So they were paying for all the restaurants that were out of business were getting to make food and getting paid for it by the hospitals and deliveries and stuff like that.
I love that.
It was brilliant. It was such a beautiful, beautiful thing.
That's amazing. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I feel like there are like really a lot of beautiful moments. I feel like I'm connecting with people, like even on the street, like when we're 6 feet away, I feel like we all have this in common now. And so it's like building a bond with people. That's pretty remarkable. And I hope that continues, and that we can stay positive and stay out of the like political sort of dumpster fire that can be there, and sort of focus on what makes us one and like how to sort of raise each other all up and take care of each other. So thank you for sharing, John. Good to see you, brother. hopefully we'll
Yeah,
get
man, good to see you too.
hopefully we'll get to make an expanded version of this show for the fine people watching. I feel like the vibe is there, so let's lean into that. All right, cheers, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Ciao, man.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you guys again. I'm going to close you out with it's a double header. It was the most requested song this past week. Again, not a B-side, but not one you hear a lot. So I think that's kind of what you were thinking B-sides were. Well, it makes sense. Made for each other. Maybe we all were, you know?